Just 1 year ago, 36 of the greatest drivers in the country took to the high banks of Daytona International Speedway for the first time in the Chris Craft Cup Series, and now we get to do it all over again. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway for the Daytona 500 to kick off season number 4 of the Chris Craft Cup Series. Now, I know that we are in store for a great show here today. We got Shane Van Gisbergen on the pole, a Rookie of the Year contender. And right next to him is Kyle Busch, looking for his second win in the series. And then we got Chase Elliott, the Season 1 champion, in third. He's looking to get his first Daytona 500 victory and start off the season just right. Now remember, Shane Van Gisbergen got 5 extra points since he qualified on pole. And that makes him the points leader, at least for right now. So if he leads a lot of laps today, you get 5 points for every lap that you lead. So if he leads a lot of laps today, Shane Van Gisbergen might just still be the points leader when we're done here. How about less talking, more racing, as it is almost time to fire the engines here today. And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, your Grand Marshal for the Daytona 500, Matthew McConaughey.
All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
From Matthew himself, and we are about ready to go green. Here is your starting lineup for the Season 4 opener.
On the front row, you got Shane Van Gisbergen, a Rookie of the Year contender, and Kyle Busch. In row 2, you have the Season 1 champ Chase Elliott and Joey Logano. In row 3, you have a newcomer to the Penske team, Harrison Burton and Connor Zilisch. In row 4, you have teammates Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick. In row 5, you have Alex Bowman and newcomer to the Wood Brothers, Josh Berry. And in row 6, you have the defending series champ Kyle Larson and Chris Buescher. In row 7, you have the defending Daytona 500 champion Michael McDowell and William Byron. And in row 8, you have Brad Keselowski and newcomer to Joe Gibbs Racing, Chase Briscoe. In row 9, you got Hayek Motorsports driver Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Carson Hocevar. In row 10, you have Noah Gragson in the 4 and Austin Dillon. In row 11, you have the 54 Ty Gibbs and the 1 of Ross Chastain. And in the row behind them, you have Christopher Bell looking for his first win in the series and Eric Jones. In row 13, you have another Rookie of the Year contender, Sammy Smith and Ryan Blaney. And right behind them is Daniel Suarez in the 99 and Justin Haley now in the 7. In row 15, you got Ryan Preece migrating to the 10 car and Cole Custer. And following closely behind them, front row Motorsports teammates Todd Gilliland and Zane Smith. In row 17, you have John Hunter Nemechek and Burt Myers making his debut. And in row 18, you have Jenson Button, another Rookie of the Year contender, and Austin Cindric. In row 19, you have Daniel Hemmer coming back for a part-time season and Jimmy Johnson. And rounding out the field here today, crashing in his duel in a backup car, Bubba Wallace. So here's a little bit of race info before we get the green flag. We got a 12-lap race today. Shane Van Gisbergen will lead the field to green. And watch out for the big one. It's not a question of if, but when. Anything can happen in this super speedways. And also watch for Kyle Busch. He is in his 20th attempt at winning this race. Can he finally get it done today? Remember, 5 points for each lap you lead and 25 for getting the halfway bonus. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chris Craft Cup Series is back like it never left. Green flag is in the air. We are racing. Van Gisbergen gets clear of Kyle Busch, and now there are 3 cars clear on the bottom. SVG leads the way with Chase Elliott in tow, Harrison Burton right behind them. Van Gisbergen and Elliott move up to the outside, and SVG leads lap 1. And we got trouble further behind, and it's Kyle Larson hard into the wall. Well, that is definitely something you do not want to see. Kyle Larson out of it early. His bad luck at super speedways continues, and he also collected Chris Buescher in the melee. Yeah, out on lap 1. That is not good for Larson. Here's a replay of what happened. Oh, he got turned by his teammate. I think he went for a hole that was not there, and he just wasn't clear, so Bowman got into him and turned him. Unfortunate news for Kyle Larson. The Season 3 champion will not be going to victory lane in Daytona. His bad luck streak at super speedways continues. The two cars have been towed off of the racetrack, and we are ready to go back to green. Harrison Burton on the bottom, SVG on the top. Here we go! This time, Harrison Burton gets the push to the lead, about half a car length clear of SVG. Here comes Van Gisbergen back on the outside, and he is clear of the bottom. Here comes Chase Elliott on the inside. Now Harrison Burton's got to run to the lead with the push from Joey Logano. They move up, and Josh Berry takes the lead and will lead the lap. Next lap, we will see who gets the halfway bonus. Harrison Burton now on the outside. They are 4 wide, several rows deep, and this is what you paid to see, isn't it? This is what you saved launch money for. Kyle Busch makes it to the lead, and Harrison Burton takes the halfway bonus with 25 points awarded to him. Oh, and that is the worst onboard camera ever. Josh Berry shows the way down the backstretch into 3. Please get us off this camera. Trouble right in the front of the field, and it's the big one. Brad Keselowski upside down and flipping wildly down the front chute. Finally coming to a rest. The red flag immediately thrown as the cars stop on the backstretch. Well, there it is. We all knew it was coming, but we didn't expect it to be at that degree. Luckily, window nets are coming down. That is a good sign, and the window net is down on the 6th car. Very good news after he went on a wild barrel roll. Man, that was scary. We have 16 cars that were involved in the incident. Josh Berry was the leader at the time of the red flag being pulled. I think that takes the cake for the worst wreck so far in the series. That one was much worse than the Season 3 big one. As you see, there's even more piled up down the front stretch and in the tri-oval. Almost all the drivers that were involved in this incident are going to be out of this race, except for Noah Gragson and Sammy Smith. Those two have pulled away, but the rest are going to the garage. I need to see a replay. What in the world happened? Carson Hocevar went for a hole that was not there, and it's just a chain reaction, taking out Harrison Burton, and there is the wild flip from Brad Keselowski. We've seen this many times with the next-gen car. The air just gets under it, and it just blows right over. Luckily, Brad has climbed out, and so have the rest of the drivers that are out of this race. We are lined back up, double file for the restart. We with 3 to go when they take the green. The Fords have dominated this race. Let's see if that continues. Let's go! Josh Berry gets a huge push from Chase Elliott and gets out front early. Joey Logano still putting up a fight there on the outside, and Logano's loose! Berry migrates to the outside line, and now Chase Elliott leads the bottom. Kyle Busch has been up there all night. What about him getting the win? Then it would be a magical night. And here comes William Byron now leading the inside line, and he's going to lead the lap. 2 laps remain. Kyle Busch on the outside. What a save there by Austin Dillon, and another terrible onboard camera from William Byron.
I'm sorry, I'm not good at filming these.
Into 3, coming to the white flag. William Byron still leads the way. Josh Berry is getting shoveled back. Daniel Suarez gets spun, and now Kyle Busch to the lead. He's going to have to frantically block if he wants to win this race. They're still wrecking behind them, but who cares? Kyle Busch going back and forth, now blocking SVG, coming out of 3 and 4. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Kyle Busch finally wins the Daytona 500. What a race, what a finish. Kyle Busch finally getting it done, as there were a couple victims that did not make it to the line. Burt Myers being one of them in the 50, and Cole Custer sitting there in turns 1 and 2 on the apron after he got spun trying to merge lanes. Man, what a night it has been. But there's one man that can come out on top, and that was Kyle Busch. Finally winning the Daytona 500 after 20 years. Shades of Dale Earnhardt back in 1998. What a way to get a Daytona 500 win. Frantically blocking lanes, which is usual unless there's a caution. But man, that was just an unbelievable finish. Everybody going at it right at the end. That was a crazy race. Your unofficial results are being shown on screen. Man, words cannot describe how good that race was. That was unbelievable. Kyle Busch did an insane job there at the end, blocking 3 charging drivers, Chase Elliott, Shane Van Gisbergen, and William Byron, holding them off to the line. I mean, everything about this race was just amazing. The racing was good. The crashes were even good. I mean, the big one was to the next level, honestly. I don't think anybody was expecting a flip here today. Well, maybe some of you, but not to that degree. I thought it was going to happen on the backstretch, but good thing that Brad Keselowski climbed out of his race car under his own power after that incident. Now, Harrison Burton did get the halfway bonus. He did also lead 2 laps, so he got 10 extra points from that. Josh Berry led the most laps today, so he will get the bonus of 25 points for that. But it all didn't matter because the man on top was Kyle Busch. KFB. If Daytona shows how good this season is going to be, boy, are we in for a treat. That was amazing. Up next on the schedule is Bristol Motor Speedway. We have 20 laps there at the last great Coliseum. One to watch there is Denny Hamlin. He is still looking for his first win in the series, actually. And Bristol is one of his strong suits, so we will have to see how that 11 can do. But today, it's all about Kyle Busch. After 20 years of trying and 20 years of frustration, history repeats itself and Kyle Busch finally wins the Daytona 500. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy this race and subscribe for more so you don't miss Season 4. Now, I have no idea when Bristol is going to release because, you know, we have Easter coming up in a couple weeks. So I'm going to take these next 2 weekends off because one is Easter and the other because I'm not going to have time to finish Bristol in that short amount of time. So once again, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and we'll see you at Bristol. Chris Kratz signing out.